Today's oath enables Sue Mountstevens to set out publicly her commitment to tackling her new role with integrity and impartiality, making clear that she will serve the people of Avon and Somerset and not a political party or section of the electorate. The oath will be witnessed by Avon and Somerset's Police Area Returning Officer, Stephen McNamara. Could I please ask Miss Mountstevens and Mr McNamara to the stage to begin the swearing in.
I, Sue Mountstevens of North Somerset, do hereby declare that I accept the office of Police and Crime Commissioner for Avon and Somerset. In making this declaration, I solemnly and sincerely promise that during my term of office, I will serve all the people of Avon and Somerset in the office of Police and Crime Commissioner. I will act with integrity and diligence in my role and to the best of my ability. Will execute the duties of my office to ensure that the police are able to cut crime and protect the public. I will give a voice to the public, especially victims of crime, and work with other services to ensure the safety of the community and effective criminal justice. I will take all steps within my power to ensure transparency of my decisions so that I may be properly held to account by the public. I will not interfere with the operational independence of police officers. And I accept all of these terms to become Avon and Somerset's Police and Crime Commissioner.
I, Stephen McNamara, confirm the acceptance of the oath of impartiality by Avon and Somerset's Police and Crime Commissioner, Sue Mountstevens.
I chose today's ceremony to be at the station because it's about community, about looking forward, about learning new skills, about mastering technology, and above all, about being better together. This converted fire station is pretty much a metaphor for how I feel about this shiny new job as the Police and Crime Commissioner. Churchill famously said that democracy is the worst form of government, except that all the others have been tried. Let me tell you, having travelled around in the rain, stopped residents in the street, and encouraged shopkeepers to display posters in their windows, I can honestly tell you that Churchill was right. It's been hard work, but I thank the residents who did decide to vote in making their voice heard, all 125,000 of you. I'm delighted to be speaking to you as Avon and Somerset's Police and Crime Commissioner. I am committed to the oath of impartiality I have just taken, and thank you, Stephen McNamara. You know I'm a real local. I don't think you can be more local than me. Born here, grew up here, married and raised my children here, director of the family business across Bristol and Somerset. I care about our communities. I suppose my two biggest stakeholders at the forefront of my mind are, of course, the residents, but also the constabulary. I have seen at first hand that they are hard-working, they are committed, and they are brave people. My job is to work with them to develop a common vision of great policing and then help iron out the obstacles in delivering that so that together we can cut crime and make our communities safer. It's good to confirm that there will be 24 new officers coming aboard in January and another 48 later in the year. I guess we are all going to be finding out exactly what the role of the PCC. It's a new one, and we are all going to be treading on new snow. But my job is to listen to all the voices, including the quiet ones, to make sure that victims are at the heart of the criminal justice system, and when needed, to challenge the Chief Constable so that we can make the wisest decisions. I have had the privilege to meet, engage with, and learn from a large number of highly committed voluntary sector organisations, and I am so pleased to see many of you here today. I very much want to work with you and ensure that what we do brings true value to the people of Avon and Somerset. Today I commit to set up an enabling fund of at least £200,000 to deliver community safety initiatives linked to my priorities, which will be available from the new year. So don't start nagging today. One of the main reasons I feel that I'm qualified to do this job on your behalf is that I am independent. You may have noticed I mentioned it once or twice in my campaign. I believe passionately that policing is too important for politics and that this role should not be held by a politician. I want to work constructively with all people who can help to deliver improvements for the people of Avon and Somerset, regardless of their affiliations or their background. I was very clear about what my priorities are. I am very clear about my priorities. Crucially, they must be tailored to all of the local areas and communities that make up Avon and Somerset. I am acutely aware that Avon and Somerset does not exist as a place, and if I wasn't, I've only had to read several of the emails that I've received to explain to me that Avon doesn't exist. And I want local communities to feel ownership and engagement with my priorities and plans. So I want to hear from you. I want a full mailbag, a full inbox, and a full diary, because only together we can change things for the better. I can now announce today that the police and crime plan that I'm putting in place will not be a single plan. It will set out my vision for Avon and Somerset as a whole, but there will also be individual plans for each of the 6 districts. So Bristol will have its own police and crime plan for the first time, but similarly so will South Gloucestershire, North Somerset, West Somerset, East Somerset, and Bath and North East Somerset. I also want to have full engagement from the public, district commanders, officers, staff, partners, and the voluntary and the community sector to ensure that these plans are effective and meet your needs. I committed to spending at least 1 day a week in the communities, listening to people, and I'm starting this on Friday, when I will be visiting Taunton and Bridgewater, speaking to local people and meeting the district commander and key partners. As part of my commitment to engage with people, I want to set up a volunteer panel to scrutinise stop and search issues and dip sample complaints against the police, and to review with me other areas of police business in a transparent way. I am looking for volunteers with relevant experience, but most importantly, who are passionate about improving conditions in Avon and Somerset. My 4 priorities have not changed. I will target antisocial behaviour consistently when I talk to people during the campaign, as I have done many times. This is the issue they wanted me to address. I will set up a strategic task force to look at antisocial behaviour across Avon and Somerset and develop with partners local plans for addressing this. I want to work with existing arrangements with multi-agency teams and also social housing, but my absolute priority is helping the most vulnerable in society. If there are any areas in Avon and Somerset where people are scared to come forward and report threatening and abusive behaviour, I want people to feel that they can come and approach me so I can work with police and partners to address this. Secondly, people wanted me to address the issue of violence, where it affects everyone in Avon and Somerset, but with a particular emphasis on violence towards women and girls. An awful lot of good work has been carried out by the police, partners and voluntary agencies in this area, and I am very proud of what you have achieved, and I want to build on the best practice that already exists and apply it more consistently across the whole area, including the rural areas. In particular, I wish to take a holistic approach to the provision of independent sexual violence advisors across the force area to ensure best practice and consistency of approach. Too frequently, agencies have struggled to find funding from year to year, and this has threatened the service providing to victims. I will discuss these plans with partners, but plan to take this approach from April next year. Reducing crime. Again, much good work has happened here and nationally in this area. I want to particularly focus on domestic and commercial burglary. It's from my discussions with residents, this is a crime which has a really devastating impact. I will set up a business crime forum to work with businesses, both to develop initiative to address business crime, but also to involve them in other areas of this agenda, where businesses and their engagement can have a positive effect, such as the opportunity for offenders to find employment. In terms of domestic burglary, I will want the force to continue to prioritise this area. I also want to work proactively with partners to address the effects of drugs and alcohol on crime generally, and especially on burglary. And fourthly, I want to put victims and consideration of how they are treated at the heart of the criminal justice system. I will receive funding from the government in 2014 to commission victim services. I will consult widely over the next few months on how to commission a holistic and effective service across the whole of Avon Somerset. Again, lots of good work already exists, but I want to be the advocate of the victims through the whole process. I also look forward to working with the local Criminal Justice Board to ensure that they focus on victims and witnesses and the efficiency of the system. These are the 4 key priorities which I've consistently described during my campaign. I will appoint an ambassador from my office to work with the constabulary and partners to progress each of these areas. I do also want to talk about one further policy area, and that is young people. We are here today in a fantastic venue supporting young people, their creativities and their talent. My friend, George Ferguson, described eloquently on Monday how important young people are to this area and all of our futures. But also young people are more likely than any other age group to be a victim of crime. Their views are not always taken account of in the decision-making process. And I can announce that today I will have a youth ambassador in my office, someone who young people can engage with and work in with my team to play an active role in the decision-making process. Now, sadly, I have to ruin this conversation by talking about money. The government has to make cuts to public services to reduce the national debt. We all understand and accept that. However, what I will not accept is the way we are more severely impacted than any other area in the country because of a complicated and unfair national funding formula which robs us of £23 million a year that we are assessed to need. I will continue to lobby on your behalf, and in particular I will fight any further cuts that are imposed on us against this background. I made it clear that I would accept the government's council tax grant next year and freeze the policing part of the council tax. I understand how difficult things are for people. However, this position is unsustainable going forward. Police officer numbers have already fallen, and one-off freeze grants from government is simply storing up problems for the future. But I will fight on your behalf to protect our police service. With the level of support I have received, higher than anywhere else in the country, I know this means you have all put your faith in me, and I will work hard with my team to deliver for you. The thing that excites me is the thing that unites all of us together. We all want our residents to be safe and feel safe. I am listening, keep talking. I am determined to make a real difference. I hope you are too. Thank you.